A special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepa, graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, I do, but today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, I do, but today.
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon. Spoon.
Skiddy dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon.
Especially our friends in the press and those in the public who's watching. The procedure constitutionally is there are two ways we can be called. We can be called by the president or we can call ourselves back. How it operates operationally is when the president calls us back because we are in recess, the government foot the bill or pays for our being called back. If we call ourselves back, we forego and waive our salary for the period, any salary for the period of callback that would have affected the callback if the president already did it. This House, in consultation with the Senate, after receiving the recast budget by the president, made the ultimate sacrifice to call ourselves back. I don't want any misconception about how we got here. Because we call ourselves back, it issues what is called a certificate. And when that certificate is issued, the president has a constitutional duty to issue a proclamation calling us back. So the callback is that of the House.
The different
like
underground institutions are doing their work
for making the ultimate sacrifice to work with our pay on behalf of our people.
What we've done is to exercise maximum political will as a government, to give them the space to operate, give them the support they need, so that we graduate from the past where we saw auditors and people who were trying to ensure accountability were dying under questionable circumstances. And we urge everyone to just cooperate, especially so. If there are questions surrounding you and you're convinced about your innocence, then allow the necessary processes to take place. The government takes note of the conclusion of the appeal process involving the murder case of Gloria Scott and others. The Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice in our country. The law says so. So when people believe that they are being unfairly treated at the lower level, the law provides that they can take appeal. They took the appeal. We all witnessed it. The Supreme Court says they are innocent. They are free people. As a government, we believe that the rule of law works. If we allow the court system to operate very independently and act on the basis of the law, we can only but welcome their judgment, their decision, and their ruling. And in this case, we do. But there are other questions that could come in. We do not need to forget that the primary responsibility of a government is to protect lives and property. A Liberian citizen, a young woman, got brutally killed. Some people were accused. The court now says you falsely accused them. As a government, we think it will still be of interest now that the people who were accused by the court's ruling were lied upon. As a government, we'll still be interested in knowing who the killers are. And there's a likely prospect that will give some attention, because just the acquittal of the people who the court now has determined were innocent does not conclude the fact that this young girl was not murdered. The facts remain that she was murdered. And if she was murdered, then we must be interested in knowing who the killers are. There has been an issue concerning the central bank, and it tells you where exactly Liberia is. There are people who thrive on misinformation and always try to read meaning into things that they are not even knowledgeable about. We know that this Ghanaian MP raised an alarm about some 20 million being present in their system. And once he did that, some political actors here on the ground, including some former and defeated lawmakers, ran around to suggest that some acts of criminality were taking place. Of course, you've seen the release from the Ghanaian side, and you've seen the other one from the Liberian side. In my mind, the two releases are a little bit technical, with all the appropriate jargons. And I just wanted to say what that means in simple terms. So as a country, we have a reserve with the Federal Reserve of New York. The currency we use here, the US dollars, is not our currency. And we all know that sometimes we all handle the US dollar very recklessly. So they get dilapidated, they get torn, or they get all kinds of conditions. So the understanding between the country that uses that money and the Federal Reserve of New York is, when you have an accumulation of dilapidated banknotes, you send it back to the Federal Reserve of New York. If it is 30 million, the straw banknote that you sent, they take that and send you the same amount with fresh, brand new notes. The mode of transportation is such that when the money is being sent from the Federal Reserve of New York, it goes to London, from London to Accra, from Accra to Monrovia. It's not the printing of new banknotes that will require legislative approval. It is a replacement of dilapidated banknote that is an existing understanding. The company that is normally responsible for that is called TravelX Currency, and they ensure that the money, the destroyed ones, are sent to the Federal Reserve of New York, and that the good ones are also brought in. It is one of such transactions which has been going on rack of ages, which is legitimate, no act of criminality. That somebody falsely blew alarm on, and politicians in their usual political stuff were ready to do propaganda, to lie, and to suggest that somebody was stealing 20 million. But that's a simple understanding of it. We have this agreement with the Federal Reserve of New York on the banknote that is not our own official currency, but we are using legally. They get destroyed. The quantity that is destroyed is sent back to the Federal Reserve of New York. They send out good notes from New York to London, from London to Accra, from Accra to Monrovia. That was a transaction. Very legitimate, no criminality, normal and usual that has been going on for rack of ages. Another issue from the central bank that we also need to clear is the contractors and consultants whose duties are over. And again, in the usual way, it's been politicized to suggest, what's wrong with your microphone? It's been politicized to suggest that people are being wrongfully dismissed, it's witch hunting, it's this, it's that, and so forth. The central bank was involved in this program called Currency Reform Process. During that process, they brought in contractors and consultants. It's a long-standing situation at the central bank. Normally they bring them for 3 months and then they renew for another 3 months and so forth. They are not employees, they are contractors. And normally when they bring them there, where they work is in a place they call the bulk room. The bulk room is where you have all the money that coming from the different commercial banks. There are people who are in that bulk room who will check those monies and put them in a different denomination, the $100, the 20. That's their work. Many people today who are part of the workforce of the central bank who manage to have gotten employed, most of them pass through that. But they are basically contractors. The currency reform process program is over. And their contractor services are over. And we all know what contractors mean. Not permanent employee. When the purpose for which you are contracted is over, the assignment is over. The CSA just reintroduced consultancy service. The individuals who have been recruited as consultants, they all come in for 6 months. CSA process says those consultancies are renewable only once. So if you have the chance to get renewal, then you got another 6 months. After that, your work finished. So if you feel in that category and somebody says your work is over, then somebody says, oh, they got working to military information as consultant after 6 months or 12 months, they put it down. At which one? So what the bank has done, inform them that the contractor services are over, sent to 9 employees, paying them what is due them. In addition to that, added what they refer to as handshake. And because many of them are just high school people, high school graduates, then the bank offered to provide scholarship for those of them who want to go to school. Just to give them safe learning. You can't be hunting somebody politically according to what some people think and sending them to school, paying them their legitimate earnings. So we can do politics with everything, and those who know how the bank works, contractors and consultants. It's a long-time team. So there are a total of 209. 203 of them are contractors, and just 6 are consultants. They were not employees, and they just following the process as it's supposed to be. As you may all be aware, the country has a new nominated Minister of Finance. He's a familiar individual moving into a familiar territory.
We communicate effectively to the public. Yes, the president is aware of the challenges in the civil service. Yes, the president is aware of the actions that have been taken to fix the problem.
Indeed, Tune to Spoon, you're from Vanjaman, you're from Maryland, you're from Sinder County, Tune to Spoon, you're from Grand Gilead, you're from Raver says, Tune to Spoon, you're from Grand Cape Mount County, you're from Bormin, across the 15 counties of Liberia, Tune to Spoon. You're somewhere across the world. Spoon has absolutely no borders. That's why we are everywhere. We are here, we are there, we are everywhere. We are coming to you live across Liberia on several radio frequencies. On Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric 101.1, Super 95.5, and a host of other radio stations across the country that are always relaying the program. Thanks for joining us tonight, our online audience. We are streaming live across the internet tonight. As always, we're live on Spoon FM, Spoon TV on Facebook, Fabric TV, and Super TV. We're live on YouTube. The YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. Again, I want to welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. We appreciate the fact that you always make up time to join us. And as always, we get to have the show together. There is no late night show without you sitting beside the radio, without you in the comment section. There's no late night show without you guys watching the show across Facebook, YouTube, and all of that. We're here because you are there, and we appreciate your contribution every single night. And again, I want to welcome you. Thanks for joining us. Kindly share the program as you come on tonight. Please share the show. If you're joining us via Facebook, share the program to your different Facebook groups. If you're joining us tonight via YouTube, you can share the show as well. Let's have a great conversation tonight. Lots of things happening across Liberia. A whole lot is going on. Every day there's something new, and we are here to provide you the updates, bring you the updates, and provide you some analysis around those issues, making sure that you can have your say in the national discourse. So my name is Nelson Kulen. Let me welcome some of you joining us in the comment section now. I want to go in quickly to welcome Kalifala Keita. You said you're joining us from Grand Baza County, Buchanan. Kalifala, thanks for being here tonight. Let me welcome Moses Momolu. You said you're watching from the USA. Thanks for joining us, Moses Momolu. Honorable George Watkins Jr., you're joining us tonight from District 13. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you. David Colley, thanks for joining us tonight. Melvin Davis, we appreciate you from Rhode Island, the USA. Thanks for joining us tonight. Many thanks to all of you. I see Anita Abalu, thanks for being here. SOJ Kamara, Serge Kamara, thanks for being here. Hashim Fambole, as always, we appreciate your participation. Thanks for joining us. Please share the program tonight. Putin G. Putin is here tonight. Thanks for joining us. Amadou Chino Bari is joining us tonight from District 13. And you're listening as well. We appreciate you. Hali Chayo is joining us from EBK Barracks. Thanks for being here tonight. Abraham Kamara, I see you in the comment section tonight. Jerry Getawe, as always, you're joining us tonight from Red Hill Field, Virginia. We appreciate you. for engaging there in the comment section. Benigo Boyman is here tonight. Emmanuel S. Colley has joined us from Margibi County. I see Jefferson F. Corva is joining us from Pipeline Road. Thanks for being here tonight. Eric McGill from Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our own sister Lavette Bondo is here tonight. Thank you for coming on. Eric McGill is here again. I see George Saki. George Saki has joined us from Bazatown Dole community. Thanks for being here tonight. And we appreciate everyone. Thanks to all of you. Rufus. Yes. Mr. Rufus Quena is joining us tonight from Zointa. Yes, Zointa should be in Bon County. But thanks for joining us. Marcon is here tonight. We appreciate you. Joseph Red is here. Thanks for joining us. I see Charles Appleton Jr. Noosh. Shirley's best friend. He's joining us from Old Road behind behind Spoon TV Live FM. No, that's where you missed it, Noosh. Spoon FM is not in Old Road, so Noosh, you missed that one there. I think I gotta call Shirley. To help you out. But Otavius Johnson is here tonight. Thanks for joining us. Harry Dotape is joining us tonight. We appreciate every one of you. Please, again, share the program. Let's have a great show. Let's have a great conversation. And let's hope we can get you to share the program. I'm doing same, sharing the program as well. But again, welcome to the show tonight, the late night show. We are back, another edition of the program, and it's always great being here. So going to the updates, a lot is happening across the country, and most of you are aware that Councilor Gloria Muscat and the three others who were brought down guilty by the lower court were being set free. They took an appeal to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court then overturned the ruling of the lower court. But today, the information minister, who happens to be the official mouthpiece of the president, of the government, not the president, sorry. The office of the president is the presidential press secretary. But the information minister, who happens to be the official mouthpiece of the government, made the disclosure today that they are not going to hold back. They are going to pursue the case involving the death of Charlo Musu, who died mysteriously on the 22nd of February. They are going to pursue this case. They are going to make sure that the perpetrator is brought to book. Whoever carried on the act, whoever must have killed Charlo, will be brought to book. And so those were the words of the information minister today. We're going to take a look at that as well tonight. Why this is happening, most of you are aware that a writ of prohibition was being filed by Senator Nathaniel McGill. Yes, most of you are aware that the LACC extended an invite to the senator, who happens to be an ex-official of government. Yes, he served in the previous administration as the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. And under his watch, there are allegations or there are suspicions of paid role paddling at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, the supplementary payroll. Some people got on those payrolls without going through the process, And what was on the book for those people to make? What should have been a take home for some of those people? It turned out that what they took home in reality was far below what was on the book for them. So the LACC termed that as impropriety, you know, and a lot more corruption, payroll padding, some improprieties there at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. So the minister, the senator was being invited. He informed his audience, his followers, as an influential person, that he was going to honor the invite of the LACC. Well, long story short, he went there, following the first phase of the process, or following his visit at the LACC, at which time he went with Councillor Seema Serena Cephas. The next thing we saw is that he filed a writ of prohibition to the court, asking the court to stop the LACC from interrogating him, that he did what he did based on the fact that he worked at the will and pleasure of somebody. I'm just paraphrasing, the presidency. And he did what he did in his capacity as Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. It's a whole long one. We hope to go through that here. In fact, we're going to go through it at some point in time on the show. And so that the court should order the LACC to stop that entire process. Less than 72 hours after, the senator then, through his legal counsel, tried to reverse or withdraw the writ of prohibition. Well, and his legal representative who happens to be Councillor Seema Serena Cephas, then wasn't involved with but the senator withdrew the writ of prohibition. And that everything he said in that writ of prohibition, he took it back. In other words, what does this mean for the process? Why did he withdraw it? What does this say about the investigation that's ongoing? Why and what exactly is it that triggered the writ of prohibition? Was he being advised? Was there any legal advice in the process leading to the senator filing that writ of prohibition? We're going to take a look at those issues, plus others, plus a lot more happening across the country. The Auditor General, former Auditor General, Mr. John Molu, did a write-up that is a trending. It's in the news. It's across on the social media and everywhere. In the summary, what he's projecting in that write-up is that there's a need for this current president to have a sit down with the former president, given the tension and everything that's in the country, and given the election result and everything that happened throughout the electoral process, the numbers that came out from the polls when Liberians went to vote, he thinks that in order for this country to enjoy and experience that peace, there's a need for the two presidents, the current president, the former president, to smoke peace pipe, get a memorandum of understanding, forget about all the prosecution thing that appears to be more like a witch hunt, and let's move ahead. Let's reconcile the country. Let's get the country moving forward. Mr. John Molu is saying that this is the way for Liberia if peace must reign. What's your take? What do you think about it? We're going to talk about those issues tonight. But again, I want to welcome you. The CSA is saying something very important. Civil Service Agency, where Mr. Josiah Jokia sits as the director, is saying that they've tried their best. They've gone up and down, left and right, east, west, north, and south in making sure that individuals or civil servants who were perceived to be civil servants who were perceived to be ghosts, or those people who did not avail themselves during the how do you call the process, the verification process, the air count, and all of those things. Given how far the CSA has gone with this process, the CSA is saying that if those individuals cannot avail themselves to, if they cannot avail themselves, they will be blocked temporarily. They will not be getting paid. They will be removed until they can make sure that they work in line with the verification process and everything that's going on. So we're going to hold it at that. A lot more is happening, so we want to go into the conversation tonight. Please share the program. Please share the program as you come on. So let me go across the table now and bring on the team. I see Josh Wheeler is the first person on tonight. I don't know why Josh removed the CDC from his name, but he used to come on as Josh Wheeler /CDC, but he removed the CDC. We're getting information that Josh Wheeler is contemplating on crossing over to the Unity Party because of so many reasons. Some of the reasons will not state here, but I want for Josh Wheeler to break the news tonight. Josh, Liberians are listening to you across the world tonight. Break the news. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Thank you, Nelson. Look, I'm sure I'm going to disappoint a lot of you, but look, in my life, what I do follow is ideology, not person. So even if President Weah or former President Weah leaves the CDC, I'll still be for the CDC because I believe in the ideology of the CDC, making the grassroots the centerpiece of our national governance.
Okay, so what that means is that this information that's filtering in is true. That you're crossing over.
It's not true at all. I'm not crossing over anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I remain with the CDC.
I've already started commending you in the comment section. Look at the beautiful comments that are coming for you. Madam Ruth Goga is saying congratulations to you, George, for crossing over. I knew all this while you were going to cross over to the Unity Party. Congratulations to you, George. And I see a lot of people are already congratulating you in the comment section.
No, it's not true. I'm sorry. I'm going to disappoint them. But look, my ideology with the CDC remains unmovable. I think the CDC stands for, making names like, Akaras Gray, Jefferson Koji. These people, that names that you could never hear in any power corridor, in the corridor of power, to see them in the mainstream of politics, I think it's commendable. Before, even during my youth, you could see only people with big stomach with plenty of gray hair, you could see them working for government. Big stomach, gray hair, paid, But this time, you see, George, we have changed everything. Young people like us are part of the governance system because we need to make decisions for ourselves. People like Bwakai, people that don't old people, that Grisby, all the people that time passed, they're about to leave us. The new breed is supposed to be in the center of our governance, but we still went back to the old folks because we feel that we didn't get sense.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Josh. I want to hold you there. Let me bring Anthony on. Anthony, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight. You want to shift your camera Just make some adjustment with it. It's good to have you on tonight. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you for having me. Look on the bottom of my name right there. What does it say?
Look, and Anthony, you try to confuse our audience here
I'm
every
not
night.
confusing no audience here.
One night you come across as an ANC supporter and you are defending why
I am
Mr.
ANC,
Kuminga,
man.
you are defending why Mr. Kuminga 1% from
No
from
problem.
7%, he came down to 1%. You're defending it. The next meaning you're defending CDC. That
No.
oh yeah, in the spirit of opposition, solidarity, and all those kinds of things,
never done-
you're defending CDC. The next minute you're speaking against CDC. So Anthony, the people want to know where exactly you stand, and all of that. But welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight.
I stand with the ANC, the only political party I have ever identified myself with, and will always identify
No,
myself with.
but no,
It's-
Anthony.
it's the
But if you
ANC.
stand for the ANC, you're not poor for the people before your name.
Yeah.
So, because no,
For
the
the people, because
there are
what,
people in CDC. There are people in Unity Party. There are people in the Lino and all those different political parties.
yeah, so yeah,
There are people equally who do not have any
a
political
party.
alliance.
Yes. So when I say Anthony for the people, it's very simple.
Who are the people?
All Liberians deserve a better Liberia. And that's the slogan for ANC. All Liberians
Come on.
deserve a better Liberia.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can
Thank
catch that man. Oh, that man.
He's trying to
So all
play a
Liberians.
certain part, but
All Liberians deserve a better Liberia. So we are for the people. We are here for the people. That's what we are here for. No, listen, let me tell you something here. I said this before, and I will say it again. Allowing President Weah to use that presidential lounge at the airport wouldn't have changed anything.
so you're doing your opinion now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just do your opinion 1 minute.
Wouldn't have changed the name, take anything from JMB administration whatsoever. You understand? Look, let us unite our nation. We see politicians around the globe. Let me use America for example. Kamala Harris went toe-to-toe with Joe Biden on the debate stage. Barack Obama went toe-to-toe with Hillary Clinton. At the end of the day, Hillary Clinton became Barack Obama Secretary of State. Kamala Harris became Joe Biden Vice President. But when you saw them on stage that time, you would not believe that they will work together. We see Republican and Democrat go at it in the country. When the election is done, the people run that country. Only in Liberia, that when you oppose a person, they will oppose you perpetually. They will see you as that. Since this platform is pro-government, pro-unity platform.
No. Listen, no.
It is
Anthony.
the owner of the show-
This
the network
this platform is for the Liberian people.
No,
That's
this
why.
platform
No.
is for
I'm
Unity
coming.
Platform.
That's why you have folks like Anthony Gay,
And that's why I'm not
who
giving the
is
chance to
very
speak.
controversial.
And
He
I'm not
comes
giving the
here,
chance to speak.
he's
Just like
given
you're
the
doing
platform, he's given the opportunity to speak his mind.
No.
You have George Weah, for example, who doesn't see anything good in this administration, but George has a space to express himself. You have
But here's the
Mora
thing.
Soka,
We don't get
who
the
is a
same
supporter of this government, Francis
don't get-
Jabate, and all of those folks.
That does not mean this platform is not
what the
pro-government.
reality is.
We do not get the same treatment like the rest of the other parliaments get.
Okay. You know
When
what?
Raymond is speaking,
I know
when
where you're
Amin is
going.
speaking, when Soare is speaking, when Toure is speaking, all of these guys flow. When Francis is speaking, they all flow without interruption. You see, by the time I open my mouth to say something, you're already here. You're down here to my throat. I have no space for you.
Anthony, I know where you're going.
So that is the
You're
reason
not
why-
going to put me on the
one of the things-
defensive. You're not going to put me on the defensive.
One
That
of
guy
the things,
doesn't.
one of the
doesn't
things about
work
me
with me.
is I
But
love to
just
be-
conclude so we get George coming in because we
yeah,
have
but
to
I
start.
love to be in a position where people feel as though they want to, intimidate me. That spark the resilience and zest in me to really stand up. Because you know what? In Liberia, we are not used to, hey, Mr. Man, you done it wrong. You didn't do it right. We're not used to that. Where you, mama, you lead that thing, man. You lead that thing. That's what we are used to. That's the reason why you don't find patriotic prosecutor in Liberia. You lead that thing kind of business. You want to talk about good laws on the books? Liberia have good laws on the books. The only thing that is there, they don't want that law to be implemented, especially those who claim to be they are too important than the other people. That is the reason why. Who told you Liberia don't have good laws?
Thank you, Anthony.
We do have it.
I want to hold you there and let's get George to do his opening, then we start the show.
Thank you, Nelson. And Anthony, thank you for coming. Look, my opinion will sound very controversial, but I think I'm entitled to my view, and this view is no one else but mine. And in no certain terms that I want to say that this view is not of this network, it's just mine. I just feel that yesterday or the day when this judgment was handed down from the Supreme Court, it was Musu Scott's friends exonerating her from the death of a child in her house where she had made a lot of conflicting statements. She made a statement that she sprayed someone's eyes with pepper spray, but that person disappeared. She made a statement that, yes, she called the justice minister instead of calling police to come to her house. She called people, she passed her key through the window to get people to open her door for the girls to be taken out, to be taken to hospital. All these things happened, but yet she was exonerated. While I do not support that she was convicted for murder, but she has some culpability in the death of that girl. And God being God, whoever did that, that person will bear the full weight as long as God lives. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh, for your opening. Let me welcome Raymond. Raymond, welcome to the show. Josh says you are the only guy at the moment who annoys him a whole lot. Whenever he sees you appear on the show, he's in fear. That's why he told me just a couple of minutes ago when we spoke before the show. But welcome to the show, Raymond. It's good to have you on.
I told Josh, yeah, thank you, and let me greet my fellow panelists.
JMB fanatic. Welcome to the show.
Greet my fellow panelists, and also greet all the other Liberians and our listeners in the audience. It's another night where we hope to discuss the issues that pertain to our common denominator, Liberia. Yeah, George, the last time left the show, went in the comment section, and I told him we have an opportunity to add our voices on the show, and that's where we should do it. He should leave the audience with the comment section. So whatever he wants to say, he rather speak now or forever hold his peace. But let's speak to the issues that pertains to our country for which we come here. There's a lot happening. And I can tell and I can feel the energy of the seditions. You know, when you create false evidence and try to pin something on others for political reasons, which is termed as witch hunt. The case of the former Chief Justice, which seditions will never acknowledge, they will call her by her name, as if we are now from a country that respect the roles that others play and give them the courtesy by mentioning their authority and the service to our country. We just call them names like they normally do with the current president. They don't call him president, they rather call him names. That kind of CDC doctrine is very unpatriotic. It does not serve the purpose of nation building and state building. And that should be condemned and criticized by all well-meaning Liberians. And I see them all in their feelings because justice was served. Look, Liberia do not belong to CDC.
Raymond, are you with us?
Raymond,
Okay,
can you get by the internet?
so we lost Raymond, and we have to move on with the show. Again, I want to welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's hope we can have a great show. To our brother Fambole.
I think somebody was
thanks.
calling Raymond. Why the internet went off?
No, I think, Anthony, you hyped me.
Okay, so
We've gone
Raymond,
past you now. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you. We've gone
Raymond,
past you.
Raymond,
Let me
Raymond,
just
if
make
you
my
take-
conclusion.
you
I was
can take
like,
20
No, you're not
seconds.
making no
Just
conclusion.
take, guys. Let's have Raymond to take 20 seconds to conclude, and then we
Liberia
can
belongs to all of
our
us.
brother in.
I'm
and
a
then we'll start.
non-partisan, right? And I'm proud to say I voted George Weah for the Senate seat. That shows that I don't have anything anti-CDC or George Weah. But I put country above personal sentiments of an individual. I hold nothing against George Weah as an individual. I hold something against him as a leader of our country because he messed it up. I served in his government, but he messed it up. And we got to be honest and truthful to call a spade an issue and leave our personal feelings about people and see our nation above our individual attachment to people. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. Family, you want to take 1 minute just for your opening so we kickstart the show.
All right, thank you guys. I'm happy to be here today, and I know that Anthony Kim recharge. I can see his frontal is shiny. You can see the minute is recharge. And George, thank you guys. I'm happy, and today I think this conversation going to be very, very powerful. And Nelson, I want you to put on your real garment so that we can have this fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Look, let me tell you one thing tonight. Tonight, my button that can put people in the background, it is very active. In fact, that button is on auto. You know, it's that kind of autopilot where you just set it and let it move by itself. So sometimes you not see my hand moving, but people will go in the background.
Just disappear and go straight in the back.
We want a great conversation tonight. No interruption. If you have 1 minute to speak, take your 1 minute or your 2 minutes, and let's have a great conversation tonight. But this is where we are, folks. And I want us to start with the conversation on the former Auditor General, Mr. John Molu. His write-up today calling on the current president to have a sit-down with the former president if this country must see peace. Now, I want to read the write-up, if possible. I will have it up, but I want to read it, and then we can get the conversation started from there. But he's saying that the only way this country will move forward if investors should come to Liberia, if investors should pull in from every angle, then the two presidents should, number one, sit down and smoke peace pipe. Number two, this current president should forget about what appears to be like a witch hunt right now. This whole auditing, 60-something million with former finance minister Samuel Twe, what is going on now with Senator McGill, and all those back and forth, the issues that are causing tension in the country. Get a memorandum of understanding, sign an MOU with President George Weah, saying that, look, we are going to reconcile the country. And because of this, we're not going after all these people there. We want our country to move forward. So let's forge ahead. And his reason for this, the former Auditor General thinks that This country saw several years of civil unrest. We went to the ballot box just some months ago, pretty close to a year ago. Liberians voted, and the people who voted, the margin that the Unity Party won with is less, and he thinks the country is divided, and the only way this country can see progress, peace, is when the country is reconciled. Now, I want us to start the conversation from here. While I try to put this read up, I need to screenshot it and all those kinds of stuff. I'll have to be doing the background here. But I want us to start the conversation from here. The last time we heard the Auditor General speak, he was again disagreeing with the government on policy issues and a lot more. But again, this is the very Auditor General who was very instrumental, who was at the center stage of a whole lot that was going on with respect to fundings, the fundraiser that went on. You know, he's that integrity icon. But what's going on? Let's start the conversation from here. I want to hear from you, Anthony, and then we can go around the table.
Thank you, Nelson. But please do me a favor. If you have any question right now, ask that question before I speak. If not, if you have question while I'm speaking,
no. Anthony, we're gonna engage.
Hold on.
We're gonna engage. But Anthony, you can tell me to ask question when you've not spoken yet.
I got 2 minutes, right? And you always interrupt. Hold on to your question, your follow-up question or whatever. After my 2-minute presentation, you can do your follow-up, please.
Anthony, let's have a conversation. Let's engage. Go ahead. Let's hear you tonight.
Good.
Let's hear you, Anthony. You come in play that card or you say ask your question. Why don't you say I come in ask your question?
Our audience, I will say thank you for tuning in. If you're in the comment section, just type where you're watching us from. We want to know. We want to know what part of Liberia, what part of the world where you find yourself. We just want to know how far we are reaching people. Please do us that favor tonight and just type where you're watching us for. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following up. But look, Nelson, I said this before a couple of times, even in the background, in our group chat right now, that we must take a page out of the book of Nelson Mandela. Given everything that is happening in Liberia, we must take a page out of the book of Nelson Mandela. In the face of adversity, in the face of confusion, division, find a way to unite the nation. The tension in Liberia right now is just too high. Everybody is walking on an eggshell. From the government side to the CDC to the rest of the other people are walking on an eggshell. And since the administration came into office, she has yet to do anything to calm the tension down. When you speak, Mr. 1%, just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You stay bitter. You bitter. The thing hitting you. You get 6 more yet to go. You would explain tired. All that kind of stuff they would say to you. But if this president meant well when he said, think Liberia, build Liberia, and love Liberia, in the process of thinking Liberia, in the process of building Liberia, in the process of loving Liberia comes peace and unity, comes leadership, comes the rule of law, and comes looking after your neighbor. Be that brother's keeper. President Joseph Newman Boakai, His Excellency, is the president of the Republic of Liberia, not the president of Unity Party, not the president of the very few people who surround him, not the president of those who sing praises to him. He's the president of those who voted against him and those who voted for him and those who did not even vote. Those are the people he raised his right hand for on that fateful day, January 22nd, when he took the oath of office to protect, defend, and uphold the Constitution of Liberia. And so, when all of these things started happening, the airport circumstances, the EPS thing, CDC headquarters, then the most recent one, this president still remains mute. Where do you stand, Mr. President? The nation needs you now. We criticize President Weah for not speaking to the nation. And you are now reminding us again that we have a president who doesn't care.
You know, and this is important, Anthony. I want us to go back to the talking point. I want us to go back to the issue. You have 2 minutes. You've exhausted your 2 minutes, but I'm going to give you extra 30 seconds. No, your audio has gone terrible. It's very bad.
Sorry, somebody was calling my phone just now.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds because you've exhausted your 2 minutes and not even going to the actual talking point. But here is it, Anthony. The Auditor General is saying that this current president and the former president need to collaborate to fight corruption. He thinks that the only way corruption can be fought in Liberia is President Boakai will have to initiate a conversation where President Boakai, will be standing, former President George Weah will be standing on his right hand or on his left hand. They'll be holding hand in hand, and effectively with that, they can fight corruption. But there are other things he said. We're going to get to those.
I don't think that's what he meant by that.
No. But I'm just trying to draw a picture here. I'm not saying that's what he said, right? I'm just trying to, draw a picture here. But do you see the possibility of those two presidents working together, collaborating to fight corruption? When President George Weah has a press conference where he said they are being witch hunted, they are being targeted, and they're not going to tolerate, they'll resist it. President Boakai, on the other hand, says we are only hunting witches. If you are not a witch, they don't have any problem with witch hunt. I mean, where are we headed with what the Auditor General is saying? Is there any possibility of those two individuals, the former president and the current president, collaborating? Is that the only way we can succeed in the fight against corruption in the first place?
First of all, we can fight corruption in our country if we're serious. And it starts with the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai. What the tone he will set, the rest of the country would dance to that tone.
Mm-hmm.
We still have 900 people who have yet to declare their access, but you want to fight corruption. We still have people who were indicted by the Magnitsky Act. The Magnitsky Act said that they were found into corruptible act, and they resigned that position. This administration came into office, did not uphold the Magnitsky Act. These folks are still walking away free. So if you will only just go after people because you want to go after them, then people will look at it as though it is a witch hunt. But we have these people. The United States government is willing to provide the evidence. Government is continuity. You came into office. You established the office of the War Crime Court. You established the office of the Ombudsman. There is a clear stuff for the Magnitsky Act. These people that were sanctioned, go after them. None of these things are important. We will go after the CDC. That's what we campaign on. If you do that, then it looks like a witch hunt. But these people resign that position because the United States government, Magnitsky Act, catalog things that they
Thank you, Anthony. I want to hold you there. Thank you. We're going to come back to you, but let's hear from Josh, and then we're going to take Raymond. Josh, your take on this issue. The former Auditor General.
Thank you, Nelson. Look, I disagree with him on some levels, and I agree with him on some other levels, and here's why. I disagree with him that the fight against corruption should be halted. I think the CDC does not want that. We don't want anything to be swept on the carpet in the name of peace. We want a fair and equitable justice system where people who are perceived or who are being caught or who there's evidence against for being corrupt to be prosecuted, because that's the only way Liberia is going to move forward. And I say this all the time: whoever is close to Boakai, if he's watching, President Boakai, if he's watching, please, President, like President George Weah, you will not remain president for the rest of your life. After your term, someone will come after you. Can you please do the right thing? I don't care who is prosecuted in this country. Once there is evidence clear that meets the benchmark of impropriety, that person should be prosecuted. What we would not condone is that people looking for making a storm in the teacup, looking for things that don't exist and putting it on people. I do agree with him that President Boakai should, it's compulsory, he should meet the opposition. And guess what? The biggest opposition or the biggest party in the Republic of Liberia is the CDC, like it or not. You got your opinion, you can keep it any way you want to keep it, where there will be no air going. But what we say to people is that CDC is the biggest political party in Liberia. And we should be respected for that. We should be given the opportunity and not be, cornered only because you feel that by targeting us and destroying us will make you free. You are not free. And even targeting us is targeting yourself.
And Josh, I can understand when you say the president now will not be president tomorrow, and no one is going to be in the seat in the presidency forever. It's just a matter of 6 years or 12 years, and you're out. You're not going to be there again. You're going to be an ordinary citizen like any other person around here. But I want to go back to what the Auditor General said. He is saying that the two presidents, current and former, will have to work together to fight corruption. Do we really need that? When this administration is highly concentrated on even auditing the previous administration, going after the previous administration to make sure that administration account for her stewardship of the state's covers. Is it possible to get the two presidents coming to work together?
Nelson, I agree with that. And that's the part of his analogy that I agree with.
How is it possible?
In Africa, our children are a bit disciplined than children in the West? It's because the community is united against any unruliness. When I was growing up, when I went somewhere and misbehaved, they would beat me, and when I come home, I would meet beating home. That's why I will behave when I go outside there. Here in the West, you can never put your hand on somebody's child, not even talk to them in a way that they will feel that it's threatening to them. That's why kids in the West are more rude and indisciplined than the children we have in Africa. But here's the thing, Nelson. I think when President Weah became president, one of the presidents he visited in the first week of the presidency was the home of the current president. We say George Weah, you know government, you know this, you know that. But that was one of the strategic thing he did. That's why his regime was not characterized by too much vigoring, because he visited the vice president or his immediate adversary. I mean, the guy who was against him, right? His opponent. He visited him at his house, took a gift from him. That was a smoking peace pipe to say, look, this country is for everyone. You lost, I won, but this country remains our country. And you are as important as anyone in this country. Fast forward, Boakai was finted on the 22nd of January. The day of Phoenix came and passed. We became a country. Boakai has never called any opposition to say, look, come to the table. We all own this country. Boakai is ruling, President Boakai is ruling as if Liberia belongs to him. We as CDC don't want anything to be swept on the carpet. They say, oh, they said, President, we have bail for the 2 condominiums. They're not going to investigate that again.
Let me ask you
because
this question
no,
this way.
we don't want
Let me
that.
ask you this way,
Investigate.
Josh, has the CDC
Yeah.
put up any poster that resembles, that indicates that the CDC, or I don't want to do it as a political party, and stuff like that, but I will have to put it this way. Have there been any indication that the CDC won this, the audit? Has there been any indication that the former president wants this to happen?
Nelson, I will take it back to 2018 when President Weah won. President Boakai did not call him and say, I want a dialogue. I want you to come and visit me. He did not say that. These are common things that you use your common sense to do. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that you need to reach out to your opponent. President Weah made a call on the phone and congratulated this man. Say, come and take my seat. You won. You think that alone is not a project to say, I will invite this person? If that doesn't tell you anything, then who is the president anyway? It's ridiculous, Nelson.
I want to hold you there and then bring Raymond in. Raymond, go ahead. Let's take on this issue.
We see the posture of the CDC and their supporters. They're still suffering from the post-election trauma. To the extent that they will not even refer to our current president as president. They will always refer to him by his name. The gross disrespect and the denial that he has won them and he's the president. That's why it's affecting them. But let me come back to the John Morlu comments and discuss it as it is and analyze it. We should not forget it's the same overzealous John Morlu who got the position as Auditor General Republic of Liberia, sat in the U.S. and said the Ellen Johnson-led Sirleaf government was 3 times more corrupt than any other government. He conducted a number of audits and he never continued the same statement. Up to today, he's not making those statements. He's the same one who said the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration asked him to be finance minister. He's the same one who said there was a position that he wanted and Gafuan stepped on him. And he referenced a name and the individual called on the show in real time and told him that wasn't true. John Morlu is overzealous. He thinks he's the good government czar of Liberia. So he say a lot of outrageous things, either to keep himself in the news, or sometimes either he got some narcissistic personality disorder, probably, where he feels he's the only one who knows it all in Liberia and he got an understanding of everything and everybody got to look up to him. So I think he wants to be the advisor to the president and he wants to tell the president to do everything. Or I think he wants to get back to the CDC because I know that's where he's from. He and George Weah didn't make it when George Weah was president for 6 years. So that's why he supported President Boakai. And even when he supported President Boakai, he's not a team player. He's not able to work with anybody. He could not work with President Boakai. But he still want to be relevant to the discourse, so he will come up with a lot of outrageous things. That comment doesn't make any sense other than that.
I want to go back a little. Yes, you come back to where you were going, right? But when did you realize this? Raymond, as a supporter of the Unity Party.
I'm not a supporter of the Unity Party.
Okay, sympathizer or
the Rescue Mission is different from the Unity Party.
Supporter of the Rescue Mission. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Raymond, on this very platform, you hear this man
When
when
what
he
did I
was
say
in the
when I hear
stage.
him?
No,
What did,
no,
what me?
I'm not going to quote word for word, but look, you hail this man as one of the best brains you had in the rescue mission, giving it the role he played in the fundraiser.
So
But
Nelson,
today Raymond, this scene Raymond is saying that this man is overzealous. Raymond, the Liberian people are asking the question, not me, but the Liberian people are asking, when did Raymond realize this?
when I spoke here doing my premise, I even went to when he became Auditor General, his original statement he made from the US before opening any book to audit, which contravene the ethics of audits. To form fights without going for fights funny. Make a conclusion before you even start audit. That's what he did. So I went as far as doing Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and I went and lay other things where he said, even before coming. But look, I wanted the person who donated my hard-earned money to the website. John Malu told us that he was going to send out an email to tell us thanks, and he was going to give us report. I haven't received any. I haven't even received my receipt.
You mean you didn't receive receipt
No.
for the money you paid on the website?
No.
No, I mean that's a revelation. It's good that George is here, Vasco is here, the guys from but I mean you're saying no, Raymond, you're saying that you didn't receive a receipt and the email notification or whatever the reply email and everything, there was absolutely nothing like that.
No, I haven't. And I haven't received the report of the money. I know he came on the Spoon FM one time and gave some low overview. I mean, the detailed report posted that we can all go and see.
Again, we're going back. Raymond, why haven't you spoken about these things until now?
Because he's not relevant to the discourse. Not because you don't know what happened, but he's not relevant. Why should we come and discuss John Malu? We're discussing Liberia. He's just an individual. But now he's pretending to be the government czar or the good government czar. He knows it all, overzealous. I think he got something called narcissistic personality disorder, where he thinks he's the center and everything others around him. That he can make any original statement. The same thing with the Amara Conan. You can see the same personality in Amara Conan. They think they know it all. You know?
Wow.
But let me go to the issues that he said and why I think it makes no sense. Look, the Constitution gave the legitimacy to the individual who gets 50 plus 1. That's the legitimacy to be president. Nothing more, nothing less. The only sense that I take from his statement is that the president should be able to talk to every Liberian and every political leader, irrespective of whether 1% or whatever percent.
Thank you.
Because it takes every Liberian to steer the boat called Liberia, but only one captain. But what he just created was an equivalent of 2 captains. And we know that it said 2 captains cannot steer the boat.
Thank you, Raymond.
That ideology, and we know, not saying you get all the fellows more than 7 minutes.
Yeah,
but
Raymond, just
Raymond, you've gone 5 minutes, but take 30 seconds to conclude. Raymond. Take 30 seconds to conclude.
The fight that before even President Weah got into office, we heard the CDC posture and stand on audit talking about wishing. Former President George Manneh Weah, we listen to his utterances. When President Bouakai lost, the last time Vice President Bouakai lost to George Manneh Weah, when the former Liberty Party stand-up Barrett Bromsky took the case to court, and the Supreme Court came out with a ruling, President Bouakai was the first person to congratulate George Weah and ask every Liberian to stand down. And ask that we give George Weah a chance, that we have a president. George Weah having presented the same olive branch. In fact, on inauguration, he left the country. That shows a disregard of the role he plays. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, is in our country. Do we see her put in the posture? She served for 12 years. Do we see her put in the posture?
Let's hold you there.
Former President George Weah, what should we reward?
Thank
People
you.
who want to hijack
People
our
want to hold you there,
country
and sorry, I have to hold you there and bring
negotiate with them
Vasco.
and bargain with them and give them a reward for hijacking. I think George
Thank you.
Malu
Give a friend chance.
Has to be somewhere else, and he has to come down to earth and be real with himself.
My man, time over now.
Vasco, please go ahead. Let's hear you. Your take on this issue.
Merci, thank you so much for the topic tonight. And I think at times, these are some of the things we need to be talking. And understand, today, Molu read up the key points within that thing. I talk about both people when they read that kind of a thing, and then they come on the show to speak. They will speak to the Liberian people in a way that they will understand, not to put their anchor into what is in that fun little piece Molu wrote. That piece today centered around reconciliation, togetherness. That is what that whole piece is all about. So this is not about politics, that Molu know everything. Molu is just simply telling the president. Next thing we get always, everyone can say that simple thing. A divided country, we are not going anywhere, Nelson. Molu is saying, Mr. President, we are got the same, almost the same number of votes. You got 800,000 plus. It is prudent that you treat him with respect. And I know, I think Baka don't have, I think Baka, based on the kind of people that are around Baka, they are the one that making him to be what he's doing today. Because President, we have been there for him.
Man.
We have been there for him. It's just simple that you and this man, you won the election. Before election commission could even announce the result, they man took a phone and call you. Today you the president. How many leaders in Africa will do that? That is the reason why you're someone president.
But again, Vasco, I want to go back. I know you try to give a summary of the message from the Auditor General, the former Auditor General. But this call for the two presidents to work hand in hand, to work together to fight corruption. Is this something that is anywhere near possibility?
Next, you see, like, you don't want to make my brother Raymond to speak the way he spoke here, leaving the entire letter or notice Molu wrote, and he spoke in his own angle, verse. That's how the Unity Party people always look. Because there are so many good things in that letter, but you choose to take that part, and when you read it correctly, what we say on the show is not what Molu was saying. Molu was saying that the former president and the current president should have sit down together and some certain document on corruption.
A memorandum of understanding as to how they're going to fight corruption.
That is
so
president we are.
Yeah,
and
go
the
ahead.
President, and I'm not saying the president, the former president coming to take over his fight in corruption. No. Former president, when they try, Molu is saying that the former president should sign a document.
There you go. There you go. Vasco, I don't know what's happening to your gadget. Look, all the sedition I can watch this show. You gotta come to Vasco.
Amy doing nothing there. Amy doing nothing.
No, Emmy is not
Vasco.
watching the show. Emmy is at work. Emmy is not watching the show. But let me hear from you, our brother Fambole. Fambole, go ahead, because Vasco seemed to be having some issue.
All right, thank you very much, Nelson. Each time I listen to Vasco and the other guys, let me just disregard Vasco's situation and just go straight to the model situation. Look, I've never seen anybody in my entire life that is very controversial, very, very much controversial than the former Auditor General. It just brings my mind back to the double snake, the double-headed snake mentality. John Molu, what he wrote, he make it to seem as if and he has always been doing it, because I've been reading all his piece, all his article he's been writing. It's always been about he trying to make it look as if he's giving the best suggestion, and everything he says it should be taken into serious consideration. The CDC led administration is not an administration that believes in diplomacy, believe in dialogue, believe in conversation. We all know that is not something that is common. Ambassador, we are came from a very peaceful background, we know. But there are elements within the CDC that will not allow President Weah to think for himself for a minute. President Boakai was very open from the beginning, from the inception of the presidency, to allow a level playing field for everyone to contribute to the growth and development of Liberia. And that's the reason why he was pressing on the diaspora, people who in the diaspora, to see reason to come back home and contribute. He wanted the country to be stable. All the things should not be seen. I don't know why people always say all the things to be witch hunting. If President Weah have agreed from the inception that he wants to sit down with President Boakai so that they can pass all these things, he was not even going to go to a party headquarters under that pressure and make such a statement and put the whole country at a standstill. It was almost that he was inciting violence, and people of that nature will not listen. There are forces behind President Weah that will not allow him to allow President Boakai to put him side by side so that they can funnel.
So are you saying, Fambule, that even in the case where President Boakai decides to extend an olive branch, decides to reach out to former President George Weah, okay, you are the former president of the country, I'm like a father to you, you're like a son to me, in the African culture, in the African way, let's come together in the interest of our country. Let's try to work. You know people who work in your administration. You appointed some of those people. They served as ministers, deputy ministers, directors at those different ministries and agencies across the country. Work with me. Let's make sure the right thing is done. Let's fight corruption.
Look, Nelson.
Fambule, do you see any possibility of President George Weah then saying to this current president, President Boakai, that yes, I agree with you. I will turn my ministers over. You have my support if you want to investigate my directors, my deputy ministers, and people who served in my administration. But mind you, some of the people are key members of the political party, even now as we speak. Is this possible? What Mr. Molu is calling for? Is this anywhere near possibility?
The political will is not there, Nelson. The Liberian people
From who?
know. You
President Boakai or former President
The
Weah?
political will is not there for the former president. As you can see, if it is something that was very severe, you will see from the posture of Vasco himself. Vasco can sit on the show and call in the current president Boakai. Boakai will not do this. He repeated this more than 20 times. You can see this. This is an offspring of the former president. You can see how he performed. You think, I know deep down in I met President Boakai when President Boakai came to Atlanta. I know President Boakai and his personality. I know he have extended some olive branch to even talk to Joe Weah. If you listen to the audio from what the Banky King Aki really said during the riot they had at the CDC headquarters, she said, "Your call, George, former President Weah, let him talk to the people, because this is an embarrassment. If those people cannot listen to anybody, that those people, anything you see they do over there is a reflection of the personality of the former President Weah. President Barker is waiting to sit with President Weah. But there are elements in that particular party that will not give peace a chance. And they will continue to disrupt, and they think that Liberia belongs to them. And up to now, some people cannot even acknowledge that President Barker is the president. So they still going around.
So those same personality could not stop President Weah from conceding defeat, but they can stop him from talking to the current president. Look, man, if you are saying something that will understand, on the platform, there are so knowledgeable people here.
You're not hijack. You're not hijack the show.
You see,
we need to give our brother his time.
I said that's how they will always come out. That's how.
Nelson, I demand you put George in the back because you just live the ground rules. You got to live up to your words.
Again, I'm muting you. The warning is
no. I'm not going to be muted. I demand you put George to the back. You just said it. George interrupted. You've done nothing. I demand you do that.
Raymond. I muted George and I'm muting you as well. I want us to give our
saying it's not about muting. George deliberately disrupted the guy.
But then Raymond, you are doing it deliberate as well. Raymond,
yes, because you feel it,
and this is not the way to go. No, Raymond.
I'm protesting because
we get tear gas here. We get tear gas here for protesters. We don't protest. We don't protest here, Raymond. Let's give our family time to conclude, and then we're gonna conclude on this talking point. We have
I
didn't conclude.
So yeah, Vasco,
No, Nelson, I went off.
Yes, take 30 seconds to conclude quickly.
Let me conclude. So, President Barker is willing. President Barker is willing to talk anything that relates to peace. That's the reason why he continues to say, "Let us love Liberia, let us think Liberia, and all work together to build Liberia." Nobody will ever say that, and you think that he's not open to having conversation of that nature.
Thank you, Fambole. Vasco, take 20 seconds, and Toure is the final panelist who will make input on this conversation because we will have to make transition. So Vasco, take your 30 seconds.
Yeah, Nelson, I think it was a good write-up from Molu because like I said earlier, the most important point in that write-up is reconciliation, and this is what Liberia needs. This is not about party this, the person not waiting to do this. This is what we need if we want our country to go places or to be compared to other countries around Africa. We need to come together. But I think the Unity Party, they don't want to, Nelson. They don't want to. You're listening to the two panelists on the show. Molu, the entire team, Molu wrote all that. The key points in that thing is for the former president and the current president to have a dialogue, to sit down. And even he also talked about Madame Salih. They need to sit down and think about Liberia, think about the people within the country. Because President Weah have the power to control the people. And I guess President Barker also have the power to control his people. He's the president. When he said this, I think will be the funnel. Because if he come out today and say, look, this is too much. George Weah, former president, is my son. I know
Thank
what
you.
he did.
Thank you, Vasco.
This is a time that we'll have to come together and see our best.
Thank you. Toure, you want to come in just quickly? Then we transition. Just take one minute 30 seconds on this, Toure. Go ahead.
Nelson, look, at the end of the day, I'm all for reconciliation. I'm all for freedom. I'm all for people having the right to assemble. I'm all for that. I live in a country that's known for that, right? But at the end of the day, at what expense? Because all these things CDC is doing, trying to create, or at least the opposition, trying to create this illusion that the country is not that the country is being governed under a severe violation of freedom of expression. These are tactics that they are trying to use to actually put the government in a situation where the government cannot pursue those that have violated, those that have stole those that have corrupted the core force of the country. So are we going to compromise going after people that flagrantly violated these rules or at least committed these crimes against the state? Fear of them retaliating, fear of them or creating a condition. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all for that. But they are intentionally doing this, Nelson, to create an atmosphere where that's all to it.
Ture, with the call from Mr. Molu now, do you see any possibility of the two presidents, former president, current president, working together to fight corruption?
Well, let me tell you this. Look, dialogue should always be given a chance, right? Anytime someone presents you an opportunity to have a dialogue with them, you should always welcome that in a mix of whatever the circumstances is. But at the end of the day, we also have to be farsighted enough to understand what are we dialoguing about, all right? Are we going to dialogue so that the president can now continue to pursue perpetrators of crime committed against the state, right? So let's look at that. Do we need to have an enabling environment free of chaos and self-inflicted commotion that we have in the country? Oh, absolutely. We need an environment that resembles a safe environment that will bring in tourists, that will bring in investors, right? And you cannot have these things within an environment where there is a propensity of chaos from people that don't want to be accountable to the state, folks that were just recently in power, and people are telling them, man, y'all can't let open book. Let's see exactly what happened, and they all get into a temper tantrum, right? Because someone is calling them or someone is trying to hold them accountable. That's all to it, right? Look, John Molu, I won't buy more into that, because if we start to buy into these things, Nelson, it will be all over again. Every time new government come, they say, my man, for the sake of peace, let people go. To what point we going to have accountability? To what point? Somebody need to set that precedent. Somebody need to start looking at liberal governance in a total different way for us to have a country of accountability. We fought a war up to today's day, Nelson. We have not haven't held people accountable for what they did, the role they played in the Civil War. We have that going. They're fresh in our minds, people that corrupted the system 6 years ago. Then we should buy into their, idea that if we bring noise, it will bring chaos, they will forget about us. We can buy into that, Nelson. The Papa should never buy into that. In the midst of that, the international community knows that the Papa is now witch hunting. The Papa is just telling you, my man, can't let open the book. That's all to it. So I'm not buying into that peace and reconciliation nonsense, man.
Comprehension, a serious problem.
This is very important, and this is where we are. At the end of the day, this is what Mr. Molu wants. He thinks this is the way forward for the country. But I want us to transition. A lot of you followed the happenings with Senator McGill. LACC invited him to aid with investigation, payroll padding, and some malpractices there at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. Since, in fact, he served as minister there before. He went in with his legal representative, Councilor Sima Serena Seafirst. And then when he came out, the next thing was to go to the court, praying the justice in chambers for a writ of prohibition to stop the LACC from pursuing him. Why? Because what he did was done in his capacity as Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. And in that role, you work at the will and pleasure of someone who happens to be the president. And so, in his request or in his prayer before the court, the justice in chambers, he wanted a writ of prohibition so that the LACC would stop the entire process. While the court is about to hear this request for the prohibition to be filed, the senator went back and withdrew a request for the writ of prohibition. What do you think is behind this particular action? What does it say about the investigation that is going on now with the LACC? Was he being advised? You and I know that Councilor Sima Serena Cephas was there. He represented Senator Miguel at that, at the LACC. Even at the LACC, you saw that when he was questioned, when the journalist posted a question to him, he said, "No, I brought this man here. I must respond. They made this. We brought him here because after he responded to the question, they went." Did anything go wrong? Let's make some analysis around this. Is there any reason why Senator Miguel, in less time, after praying for this writ of prohibition, will go back to withdraw it? After praying for this writ and saying that, look, I did this in my capacity as Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. In other words, I was acting. Now, let's hear from you, Josh. Let's start the conversation from you.
Look, thank you, Nelson. And look, when we started the show, Brother Anthony Gay made a statement that this platform is pro-government. I do believe that. But sitting in the capacity as a co-host tonight makes me to be a little bit convoluted,
No, listen, Josh. I'm not going into that card Anthony Gay tried to play it. This platform, this show is for the Liberian people. That's why we have people from across the aisle coming in here.
Look, Nelson, you had the authority to move Zeze into this place. You did not. You had the opportunity to move Toure in this place. You did not. You moved me in this place. So look, I'm grateful. But let me go to the point. Look, Nelson, I agree with the senator's move, and here's why. Look, I don't understand this payroll pardoning thing that happened. It doesn't make sense to me. And I don't think it's going to progress. We're here. We're not here for a short time. We're here for a long time. But I don't think there's anything within that payroll pardoning thing that is going to work. The reason why is simple. People are paid through mobile money, right? So if I pay Nelson $300, then I say, Nelson, come and bring $200 back to me, right? That is something. If you go to Nelson and Nelson say, yes, that's true, they used to pay me $300 in my account, I would take it, but I used to carry $200 to George, that is something that we'll see. If that is part of the evidence, I'm yet to see it, right? But I think the senator, was wrongly advised by his legal team to go and put a halt on an investigation that is premature. I think he did the right thing to retract that. I think it's a more prudent thing to do.
What do you think must have triggered that initial action? Now, I want us to follow the happenings here, Josh.
Yeah.
1 minute he's invited. The next minute he takes to his social media to say there's some plot or there's some plan to silence him as one of the critical voices in the country. Government has plans to silence him, but he's going to the LACC. The next day he goes to the LACC with his legal representative, Councilor Sima Serena Cephas. Leaves LACC, whatever was discussed there, whatever he told LACC, whatever LACC told him, next move is straight to the court. It's like, I'm coming from LACC, they think the people talking down there, he say, my people, quote, your plea tell that people, let it stop that thing they're talking. Let it stop the entire process. Because their position I was in, that somebody put me there, I was acting on You know, it's like Bernie Samukai whole situation here.
Yeah.
I
So
was
Nelson.
acting on the honor of my boss.
Yeah,
Next meeting,
Nelson.
after registering that before the court say, okay, we see it, we'll call you to hear this particular thing. He goes back, he says, no, I withdraw.
Yeah. So Nelson, I think that's what I said is a prudent thing to do. Nelson, the thing is that is part of his legal option, right? Legal options are available to people to use them if they so desire. I think he wanted to use that, but he looked at it for long. He said, look, this thing will already cloud my reputation. It's already clouded by this sanction and all these things are happening. If I want to put a stop to the investigation, people will say because I'm guilty, that's why I'm trying to put a stop to it, to the investigation. So let people just go ahead. Let's see what they find, right? So I think it's a good thing to do. I think the senator is in his full right to withdraw any legal challenge he posed to this investigation. For us to sit down here and think that because he withdraw it, that means he's guilty, I think it's premature. For even to sit here and say why he even went there in the first place, it's premature as well, or it's not relevant because it was part of his legal option. He could have done it, and it worked, right? They put a halt to them, right? But he looked there for long. He said, look, I don't need to put a halt to these people. Let them go. I don't think they will find anything because I did nothing wrong. Look, having a payroll, or supplementary payroll, it's no crime in Liberia. It's no crime in any organization, even for the organization that I work for, they got petty cash and we use petty cash to pay other people, you know what I mean? Who do some work around the building or paint the building and do all sort of things. We use petty cash for those things. Once it's documented, it's good. It's not a crime. So if these people are saying that Senator McGill put people on payroll and deducted money from them to take home for himself, let them go. I want to know. I want to know exactly if that happened. And I want to see the witnesses to come forward to say that. But before that, look, there's no reason for us to, to make some.
This is important. Let's hear from Raymond on this issue. Raymond, you have followed this entire thing. Let's hear your take.
So that's a hypocrisy about CDC and the blatant lies. Before this president took in and even appointed his people into office, we heard them crying wolf that it would be wishing. When President Barker came in, they said, oh, what? And they said, oh, audit, we can't hear audit. They were the one crying. We heard even the Magay man say he wanted the government to request the evidence from the U.S. government and vindicate him. We discussed that the same week. He got issued a letter inviting him to the LDCC. The first poster he put up was wishing. Look, you can't be talking from two sides of your mouth. And he goes there, he take a bunch of hooligans with him to start distorting public peace at a serious investigation. The kind of posture to put up. Right afterwards, he put a prohibition on the investigation. Look, wherever you see
but again, it's important to state that the prohibition was not issued by the court. He prayed for it.
That's why I said he requested. He requested a prohibition from the court. So what I'm trying to say is the sheer hypocrisy, the wishy-washiness, the pretense, the lies, the posture. These guys are so scared of their shadows. They know what they've done. They know that any fair audit on them is going to take them down and under. They can't stand it. They're having nightmares. Because they see it unfolding before them. He know the evidence he saw against him. He can't help it. He's trying wolf all around, but he can't help him. It's just to let the Liberian people know how much you guys stole. Listen, this is a classic example. The Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government that ran the country for 12 years, that negotiated with the IMF and all her other partners to waive off of several $billion. Came and left. In 6 years, this government got $1.4 billion debt. Where can we see the $1.4 billion? What happened in the 6 years of this government? Nothing. Our people suffer. It tells you that these guys stole as much as they could. These guys are so worthy, and they're trying to use that money to manipulate the court system. But God being God, will see them account for it. And
Thank you.
God being God, those resources will be recovered, and the Liberian people will eat the fruit of their labor. Thank you.
Thank you. Fambole, let's hear you. Then we take Vasco. Ture will be next.
Man, each time I see that situation, it's so embarrassing. Because if he knew fully well that going to the court to request for prohibition on a particular issue, and then in less than a day you go back, in less than 5 days you go back and you want to withdraw, that is common. The layman will know straight that there's something fishy over there. There's something fishy over there, and there is no possibility that the LCC will invite McGill if they don't have anything. The reports are there, the audits are clear, it's visible. But we all know the country Liberia we all have, and the political party from which McGill came from, the people that are planted in there. You and I know that on a civilized administration, when you are invited by an integrity institution like that, you will not carry people behind you to go make noise, to raise battle cry. You were not indicted, you were invited. We said, oh, you serve in this capacity doing the past administration, and we found this irregularity. Can you come and say something? And then the next thing you see, people behind you raising battle cry to disrupt it. And out of confusion and guilt, you ran to the court after seeing what you were invited in there. We all know that they show you documents, you saw stuff, and the next day you ran to the court to file prohibition. And then your legal counsel, I don't know, it was the Holy Spirit that visited him, and he came back and said, no, you got to go back and take that thing. People will think otherwise. And he went back. There's something featured, Nessie. But the only thing the Liberian people will continue to demand, and Ambassador Braga will continue to pray for God to give him the courage and wisdom that this thing should not be swept under the carpet. There is so much that was stolen from the country in 6 years. So much. And the evidence are all over the place. The justice system will have to work with this administration and ensure that all those that stole huge amount of money from the country, that made the country to suffer like that, they should come and account for it. Let the money be recovered and let it be given back. Let Liberian people celebrate. Thank you very much.
Vasco, let's hear you, sir. And then we'll take Ture.
Nancy. I mean, I think it was prudent enough that the senator did what he did. This show clearly that his feet are cleared of everything. Okay.
No, but if he was clear of everything, he feels that he's been clear of everything. Why do you think he had to even pray for a rate of prohibition?
Nelson, because if you listen to Serena Seaforth, when they went to the LACC, if you have the clip here you play, he said the procedure, it was wrong. The manner in form in which they did it.
No, Vasco, I really understand. Yeah, I really want to understand that aspect. When you maybe I have to bring the clip in to really understand what you're talking about.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm speaking directly.
Yeah, I know that.
From what the astute lawyer said. McGill is not doing things on his own. McGill is represented by one of the best lawyers in the country. Okay? Yeah. So apparently, this lawyer knows very well that this case, nothing will come from inside. Because McGill never committed no crime.
But again, Vasco, let me ask you.
Liberians.
Let me ask you.
And that employment is directly from the president.
First question is,
the president mandate. Yeah.
Vasco, I know your internet is tripping, but first question is, where was the lawyer? The reason why you have a legal representative is to get legal advice, to be guided legally, to take the necessary or appropriate legal steps so as to avoid anything that will look fishy or anything that will undermine your goal to make sure that you're exonerated from whatever the case is, whatever the issue is. Where was the legal representative? How come the legal representative was there and he facilitated this particular request to the court for a writ of prohibition to stop the LACC from investigating the senator? But then the legal representative is still there, and y'all go back to the court to withdraw the request for writ of prohibition. I mean, Vasco, what do you think is going on here?
Nelson, I mean, this is very simple. Because, okay, LACC want to prosecute me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maggie carrying going to the court to put in prohibition. Then the court are going to grant him. Anybody go to the court will grant you. And the court will call you.
But again, the court will have to hear.
They will hear all these things will prolong.
Hear the request. Hear why.
Prolong. This thing. What you know what Maggie did? If Maggie going to go to that court and that court pour in stay order on this whole matter, we'll come back on the show and people will start yelling, oh, he feel like he's guilty. That is the reason why he running to the Supreme Court and this and that. But Nelson, Maggie look at him, a lawyer look at him and say, look, my man, nothing is in this case. We're not putting no prohibition on this thing. Say people want to investigate, again to go ahead to investigate. You saw me clapping for Maggie. Maggie said, okay, say you want to investigate me now. I gave you the power now. And I'm putting no word to this thing here. Let us go into the case now. That's the simple analogy of the whole thing. Simple. Because prohibition will put a stop. We also want the Gracious Ra matter went. Up to today, they stay investigating. You understand? So, Maggie don't want anything to drag long because Maggie know by putting Liberians on a payroll, come from the president of it, the president mandate. Employ my people. And I'm here for that boys are using payroll paddling. The amount that Nelson explanation is giving. The amount people supposed to get, then they wasn't getting that amount.
No, I'm not giving my own explanation. The communication from the LACC,
yeah,
that's what it says.
It says like you're supposed to take $300.
Some of the reasons, no, I'm coming now. Some of the reasons why they are investigating is because number one, payroll paddling.
Yeah.
All right. You have improprieties. These are some of the reasons why the LACC is investigating.
Yeah. So now you should just that Maggie is giving them the power now, and I'm putting no prohibition on this thing. Boom, y'all go ahead and do the investigation. That's here we can investigate the president office. The president authority. The president gave Maggie authority to implore Liberian. We want to see how far that case will go. Serenity was a big lawyer. He said, Maggie, leave that thing. Y'all go, nothing and nothing. Maybe the government got money to spend for us to go to court. And you start sitting down. Citizen are not against audit. How many times saw citizen come and say we don't want audit? If I will even encourage the president, they order what you want to do, Papa. Go back and bring all the people that see our country money, include us, according if you feel that we stole, bring our own people plus the other people who stole, let the order go on. But you said no, you only order for 2018. We ain't get problem. How many persons you have found guilty? Say you collected all the two guys and put it in jail illegally. Where are they today? Where is the case? Can you hear anything about it? We know you guys just want to what? Prove something. Prove that we jail these people, we jail them. But we know all of these things going nowhere. They will beat the Unity Party in court. All of the cases will win the Unity Party. And not going nowhere. Now,
Thank you.
Samuel will come because we know y'all wanted to grab Samuel 12 and put Samuel 12 in jail. But thank God they could have put a stay order on our whole case. Now, Samuel 12 will come in the country, nobody will bother him. Y'all go meet in court.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the CDC. That's what we stand for. We're not
Terry,
looking
let's
at
hear you.
y'all who can be clapping for people when they murder people and you're clapping for them. We're not looking at y'all.
Terry, go ahead. Let's hear your take on this issue.
Good evening to all of our viewers here in the United States and around the world. Listening to the panelists. What's up, guys? Look, let's be serious here for once. All right. Vasco, you can kind of talk all your tabata, but man, you not make it. Look, Nathaniel McGill, this guy filed for prohibition, and Josh, just because this is something that is available to you, that does not mean you should use it recklessly. This guy went and filed for prohibition without even knowing what he's being charged for. You know what I'm saying? And the law of prohibition is this, right? You can't file it multiple times. So the guy realized that, oh no, I don't even know what the people are really what the crime is even about. Right? So somebody might have told him, say, my man, you better go get that thing from there, until you can get in depth as to how this thing gonna play out before you can even, so that's all to that. Lack of sophistication, lack of understanding, how this thing's gonna play out, and hastily just moved to go fight because he understood it's available to him. But let me tell you this, Nelson. We can talk about this until that kingdom come. It's still not going to change. It's not going to change the fact that these guys, they are only head bent on the fact that they did some wrong in their 6 years in leadership. And nobody is here. I've said this numerous times, George. The Ellen government, there was visible corruption in the administration. Nobody's here saying, oh, it wouldn't happen on a job we are. All right. But this is the thing. You had your chances, though. You had the opportunity to do your job, to audit Madame Salif. But instead you didn't. So you cannot come here to try to tell the President Bouaga administration as to where to start their their processes. You don't have that moral authority to determine how this government go by fighting corruption or where to start. Like Joseph Jingin Rabba, you want to start from? Huh? You know what I mean? So you stop this thing. And Vasco, you're gonna come here saying, oh, we are open for accountability. But as soon as somebody says something, you're joining the street. We all listened to Jefferson Tamakoji today. That press conference you're on there. It is so saddening, right? For a young man like Jefferson Tamakoji. What he should be doing right now, he should enroll himself. He should enroll himself in an institution right now to better himself for 2029. With all of the opportunity and all of the finances he's got right now. Go to school, my young man. Improve yourself, right? Go somewhere, go serve. Do you guys know any of these past government officials? We saw Ellen when Ellen left, right? All these boys, they all went to all these schools, better themselves up, put themselves in a better situation for another opportunity. But these guys are going to be in the street. All they will do, encouraging young men and young women to get in the street along with them so that they can cause chaos and make this country ungovernable and set themselves up for another opportunity in 2029. That is the only goal you have. That's the only strategy you have. You should turn that whole CDC headquarters into a record.
Let's see, now the top here. You're not putting them.
My man. I'm talking about you.
The brother is concluding. Vasco,
exactly. I'm concluding. So stop, my man. Do not interrupt me. Turn that thing, Jefferson.
You have 20 seconds to conclude. Then we'll go to the.
With all his education, with all his expertise, he should become a lecturer at one of these community colleges in Labrador there to actually teach the children something or the students something. That's what you should be doing. But press conference all the time. Come on, man.
Thank you very much, Ture.
You will teach them corruption 101.
This is important.
Listen,
We have
guys,
to
I'm
go to
very
the phone
listening
lines.
discussion.
We have to go to the phone lines.
What
We
they
have to
bring
go to the
CDC
phone
panel
lines.
calling what we
But it's
want here?
important to state
You,
that
you understand the definition of
it's
lazy?
important to
Y'all
say that
Master?
listen.
came up today
You understand the definition
from
of
the
lazy?
CSA
You can
joint
bring angle to
circular.
the discussion.
You are the
The joint
definition of
circular.
lazy.
You
Yeah,
bring,
no, guys, let's do the
you
job.
bring your vest. You take your
Guys,
problem.
guys,
and
I
bring on
think
the show.
we are having a show. We're having one show.
Sorry, Nelson.
A joint circular came up today.
Nelson, you saw Zeze interrupting the show. No one is talking. As soon as I open my mouth, you say you must take me home to my house. You must take me to Lufa to go keep me there.
No, I'm coming now. In your position
Nelson
as
tolerating you
co-moderator,
guys to be disrupting the show, so that's
in
what
your
he wants.
position, no, I'm coming, guys. Josh, in your position right now, let me remove the joint circular yet. Let me remove the joint circular to see what.
Allow Vasco to read out John Sackler.
So in your position right now, as co-moderator, what's your recommendation for Raymond? What will you suggest we do to Raymond as a way of setting deterrence right now, Josh?
Okay, look, my take now is that he does not do his closing. He goes home like that, listen to all of our close, and no closing for him today.
That's a nice joke. I appreciate it. No, that's joke.
And that's it. And so other.
And we're all laughing about it. That's a nice joke.
You know, but
I'm on another one tomorrow.
Let's take this one here. A joint circular today, and I wanted to just do 1 minute each on this because we have to go to the phone lines. To all heads of government spending entities, from Josiah F. Joker Jr., Director General, Civil Service Agency. And I want to go down where you have the subject. It says blocking or suspension of unverified individuals on the national payroll. And this is getting serious. It was issued today in Liberia. Now is the 30th because we're a few hours ahead. But let me just read what's here. It says, as part of our ongoing commitment to ensuring transparency and accountability in the utilization of public finance, the government of Liberia, through the Civil Service Agency, CSA, and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, MFDP, will implement a significant payroll reform measure effective September 2. That's in about a week from now. If effective September 2, less than a week from now. 2024. 6,387 individuals who remain unverified on the national payroll will be temporarily blocked pending 2-month verification from September 2 to November 4th, 2024. These individuals have consistently failed to participate in mandatory payroll verification processes, including the General Auditing Commission's payroll compliance audit in 2021 and a subsequent 90-day post-audit verification exercise. The previous administration's failure to act on the Auditor General's recommendations has resulted in substantial financial losses, with millions potentially being paid out monthly and annually to non-existent employees, commonly called ghost workers. Below is the Auditor General's recommendation. What did the recommendation say? The office, I'm reading the recommendation now, the Office of the Controller and Accountant and Accountant General, GAC, would place a memorandum, a moratorium on salaries of all employees, 6,387, not verified during the physical verification exercise and for whom legitimate excuses were not provided. And the joint circular ends by saying, this blocking session is a crucial step towards rectifying past oversights and safeguarding the integrity of the government's payroll system. Kind regards. This is what came from the CSA today. Josiah Joker.
Man, I like that guy.
Look, I want us to take just 1 minute each around this one, and then we're going to go to the phone lines. We want to afford our folks some time to weigh in their thoughts on this issue as well tonight. Josh, let's start with you. Just 1 minute, and I want to set the timer so as to make sure that we live within the time. Let's hear you, Josh. Your take on this
Yeah,
issue.
Nelson, look, there's so many things that I disagree with this gentleman on, but this one I agree with him. I think there's to be no reason why you'll be working for government being paid and cannot be verified. There's no reason. That's why Liberia continue to retrogress. It's because people don't account for what they do. So why are you showing my man talking Vasco?
No, but as he's speaking now and agreeing with the government on this issue, Vasco is angry.
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah. Anyway, but go ahead. Use your 1 minute.
I don't think he is. I think even if you were employed by the past government, you should show up. You still work for this government, and this government is not a UP government. This is a Liberian government, and you have to respect what is Liberian. And once that is paying your bills, that is paying your children's school fees, you must respect what you do and make sure that you show up to be counted. I think there's nothing wrong with this circular. I think it's the best thing to do, because guess what? When we last I think a few years ago, there were always people demonstrating for not being paid. And I used to say, some of these people that are demonstrating not being paid, so they don't even go to work. They just join this thing and make a lot of noise and cause confusion. Some people don't even go to work. They just want to be paid because they feel that the government is their government and they are Liberian, so they must be paid by the government. And that's what happened.
Thank you. Now,
those who say President we are another salary, so they're not voting for him. Now, Bouaka is going to take it from payroll because you're not showing up. And thank you, President Bouaka, for this. I appreciate you. Let's do it.
Thank you. Raymond, let's hear 1 minute on this one. Quick.
Me and my brother George Weeder don't agree on many things, but we agree on this, except his closing, where he was trying to still put a spin on it after he said all the good things. But let me say this, Nelson. You know, I got in government since President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf tenure, and these same exercises were carried out. I became victimized once because I got a scholarship to go to school in Japan. When I was going, the vetting process, I had to go to the scholarship session. So they took my entire file from HR and they left it in the scholarship session. And when the team came to do the verification, my file wasn't there at all. But I got employee number, I've been in, they say I'm in Japan. But where did my file? So they blocked me until I returned. But unfortunately, nobody even sent me an email and asked me, do you have copy of all your credentials and everything because the form you fill in to get employed, CSA and all those things. I had it all scanned. I could send them copies. I came back to Liberia all the time I was in Japan. My salary that should have been waiting to be fat for me. I met nothing. But what they did when I came in, I went to the CSA verify and everything, my credentials from Japan and everything, I got put back on payroll. So I just want to say, like George said, Josiah Joker, I think he's my appointee of this government for now. And I think he's doing a good job. And we need that because Liberia belongs to all Liberians, and that's how Liberians going to get fixed when all these payroll pardoning things can be stopped and we can find a loophole and mend them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Fambole, let's hear you. Your 1 minute quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is another brilliant move by the government of Liberia, and we hope and pray that our brothers from the other end will not see this from another angle, because this in a well civilized environment, they do a lot of verification here. In the United States, they will do background check, they'll do a lot of stuff. And one thing I think Josiah is working on is the digitalization of the entire payroll sector, so that when someone is not working, if they take you off the payroll, you're off. You not. Some people die or something happen, but yet they still pay is still going in process, and the government is losing. If you're not working and somebody else come in, they have to take you off. So we really commend this this particular one, and let us embrace it. It's a major change. Let us work together on it and make sure that everybody be treated fairly. There's no witch hunt in this. Let us embrace it, and the government is getting, and the country is getting better.
Thank you very much. Let's hear you, Vasco, and then
I
I
mean, this is the kind of Liberia our people are looking for, and now we thank God they got it. The same
Who the people are looking for?
The Liberian people, especially the nurses, because I know they took the JFK alone, they got almost close to 700
Look,
people.
and it's important. Those guys from the JFK, we should be talking to them.
And I know some of the things I heard today from JFK. I have people went there today. I listening. Look, there will be a serious protest, especially for the nurses, the doctors, JFK. Pretty soon, watch and see. Because most of them complaining. When President Wiyaki, he said, I will keep the people here. Someone trying to say, man, the only way we can make it with the government here, they fire the people there. We need to fire plenty of people. He said, no. Nobody, we're not taking nobody from the job. All we can do, the people are making plenty of money here, they reduce their money and be able to employ all the people. So we call that harmonization. So
that's that 1 million girl.
Yeah, John Yaki, how much people pay? Today, Baga have come. Baga is missing people. The number have gone to 7,000 plus Liberians who have lost their job within 8 months. Nobody can tell me up to now. First month, second month, third month, fourth month, you still looking for, you still don't, you haven't discovered.
No, but again, Vasco, maybe you have to capture this thing the way it is. The people who have been removed, majority of them are folks who the civil service, the CSA, has gone above and beyond and now was able to confirm that they do not exist, or they did not go through the proper vetting. According to the CSA boss, he said those are the people they've removed from the payroll, and they're going further because they want to further clean up the payroll so as to save the government losses. 6,300 plus individuals will be blocked beginning September 2, and in that period from September 2 to November 4th. They will go over the process again, verify. But in the meantime, those people will not be receiving salaries.
No problem. This is the rescue government. They're going to rescue Liberia. So, I mean, it's they on course. They continue. But let me tell you, listen, I'm not going to wrote something today. And I'm not going to say every aspect of this government, no entity that have been generating good money for this government, everything. Nothing is working correctly. The government is struggling. No investor coming to this country. Malu said it. Nobody coming to invest in Liberia. And then the revenue generation is full. So what you expect the government to do? To take Liberia from job? And
thank you.
On this one.
Thank you very much. I know we have to go. Batala Boture, please take your 1 minute and let's hear you.
So Nelson, what we saw today is indicative of what this government is about. Only someone that is so sort of anti-system or anti-progress will have problem with what Director Jakaya is doing. Let me tell you, Nelson, it's like a business, right? And let you look at it as well. If you're a businessman, right, you have a convoluted payroll where you're paying people wages, or a company owner, you're paying people wages, people that are not even providing any service to you, right? you're not going to win. You're going to lose, right? And that's what we're talking about, cleaning up the system. Then it will give government a sense of how revenue is being used, you know, and which area to allocate, you know,
resources
to. Exactly. Thank you, Ray. Resources to, right? Because all this have to do it. But if you have a government that does not even know where to allocate money, because the money they are getting or the money they are generating all is going to payroll. That's what Liberia is. Everything is going to payroll, and you pay people that you don't even know. So this will help the government get a standing, right? It will give them a direct indication as to how funds are generated and which money, how many money they're spending a month. Do you know how that will help the government? Knowing that, okay, I'm paying like my payroll is set for maybe $170 million a month. That's what you're paying. That will give you so much light into how to govern the country. And let me tell you this, Nelson. We've been yearning for this moment for a very long time. This guy right now, if I should look for MVP around this government, this guy will be number one, right? This guy, he's deliberate, he's aggressive, and he pursue what he wants so aggressively to the teeth. And that's what we need. And the second will be Eugene Fagon. Fagon is another one, and then we can go and then we can go down, and then we can go down the list. But Liberia is working, man. And to my brother George, man, thank you, brother. Thank you for putting country first. And thank you for forcing Vasco to put country first.
He tried, but he can't make it.
I don't want to thank you. I don't want you to thank you.
Vasco tried, but he couldn't understand what to say, so he kept silent.
So guys, I think we're out of time now.
Vasco is like an extremist.
We will not go to the lines
for the hardest part of the thing.
We will not go to the lines, but I think we gotta just we'll have to come back to do our closing. So let's just go around the table. Yeah, to do our yeah.
But Nelson, you can transition now. I'll take care.
Okay, so in your capacity now. I want us to do it. Okay, so we are 5 here. Let's do 1 minute 30 seconds each in our closing, please. So George, you can handle things from here now.
Thank you. Push the red button to me.
But someone can keep the time, because I got my timer here too. Where 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll mute you. So that tussle.
Thank you. So Nelson,
George, Jen knows a test for you. So if you screw up this time, you will not be there next time. I'm just telling you.
My man, they play ahead. The thing I want to do is to beat Moroba to this position. So yeah, I'm doing my best now. So guys, look. Anyway, to the point. Look, guys. I listened to Raymond. I listened to Maximus. Maximus, it's my first time meeting you. You sound aggressive, but one of the things is that you have to, maybe get your facts together. Maybe probably that would be a helpful thing. You guys thought about taking hooligans to the LACC. I don't know how you guys got to that, because the last time I checked, when a senator, how they call him, the senator of when he was indicted, I just forget his name, Bieber 1, Bieber 2 story, right? I think you guys know the story. This guy was indicted. He was escorted to the court with a group of United Party hooligans. Those are the type of people who call hooligans. When Mo Ali was caught to questioning at the police station, LNP headquarters, a group of United Party rescuers accompanied him there, causing a lot of commotion in the streets. That is the problem. You don't come here and say, oh, CDC and the hooligans and this and that, I care about people. People cheer for people. People go to places for support, moral support. Even in the West, when people go to court, people go there to give them moral support. Even when they say the person killed somebody, people still follow them to the court for solidarity, to show their support, because this person did not kill everybody that he met. It might have been an issue or something that overcame him or her. So people always get supported. That they said the devil, even the devil, has a cheering squad. So we should know that this is not synonymous with only Liberians, or not Liberians, but Seditians. People support people all around the world. So you guys stop calling Seditians hooligans when we go to support our own at any venue. It's one of the things I wanted to strike. The last one I want to strike today is that we saw the miscarriage of justice in our country. We saw former Chief Justice and her family members being released from prison by her friends. These people thought to themselves that this could be us. This is one of us. Let's rescue this woman. I think that's what happened, because I think there was no justice dispensed in that case. Nothing.
George, your turn over the mute you.
That shows that I don't get power in the place, my man.
That shows you
Nelson give me power, but you give me power, they ain't honor Miami.
Give me 30 seconds, man. I have problem. I mean,
This platform is a unity party platform. You can win here. They can give you power, then they honor mind you. But look, guys, I think Liberia belongs to every one of us. No matter, your opinion, I don't think it is lousy enough to express it here. We should express ourselves regardless of what we support or anything else. Look, one of the things I always pray for, I pray that I will have enough for myself, that my eating plate will not be in anybody's room, for which I will cheer for the person even when the person is harming me.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
So I just want to thank you guys. God bless you. God bless Liberia, and have a wonderful time.
Yeah, Josh. Josh, you went.
You're supposed to be the moderator. Then you start talking for.
The man don't mind me, yeah. Nelson, man. Come on.
You
know what did it to Emmy? You know what did it to Emmy? You know what did it to anyone else? But
George,
just
you were
me.
carried away.
Yeah, so guys, because of what the co-moderator has done, we will reduce the closing time to 1 minute each, and the timer will be.
George, you see, I told you it was an
Guys,
opportunity for
support
you.
Arsenal, please. Support Arsenal.
Also, George, decide which way we go now, because we have to close. Yeah, we out of time. Seriously.
Oh, look, let's skip Raymond and move to how they call him, Batala boy. Batala, please come on.
You get a power. You know what to do.
Look, at the end of the day, gentlemen, always pleasure being on here with you guys. Look, we have a country to protect. We have a country to build. We have a country to sell to the world. Make it a shining star so people can come along. Because it's only through that we can actually be able to galvanize sufficient resources to do the little things that we need, which are very, very important. But so as we come here, George, and I totally want to agree with you. We should all be sort of like given the opportunity to sell whatever we're trying to sell. Because if every one of us agree on the same thing, then there will be no room for innovation, because we will not be challenging each other, right? And I feel like if you have opposition, competition becomes very elusive. But without competition, innovation becomes scarce. So we need that. We need a unity party. We need the CDC. We need the ANC, the LP, the ALCO, the LPP. I mean, all of those conversion of political parties come with different ideas and different opportunity. But let's try to encourage that even more.
Thank you.
Oh, so I finished? All right, thank you.
I can only thank you for the background.
Okay, so Vasco, do your closing. Yeah.
Your co-moderator banner you.
Yeah, the co-moderator left the
Nancy,
screen.
are you a moderator?
But George is
Okay,
not here. So, yeah, so do your closing, Vasco.
Yeah, let me do mine quick. So, I mean, it was a great show, but I want to say this. Since the Unity Party came to power, 8 months now, the president have traveled out of the country more than 10 times. And our country stands to benefit nothing from all his travels. Just 8 months, more than 10 times. And we still nothing, we lose it. Because every time he travel more than 20 persons. But nothing coming to the country. And I feel this is wrong. If you know you will not get anything when you go in, just take maybe 1 or 2 persons you'll go. Because if you travel with the president, you got your DSA, or every day you spend outside of that money, they're gonna give it to you. So this is some of the failure. This is some of the failure of this government. More than 10 times, and nobody can argue with that.
Thank you. Meeting with IMF.
8 months, man, I travel almost closer to President Weah. He says, yeah.
Thank you, Vasco.
Vasco,
Kamala, that's what you there, sir.
But now, 8 months, 10 times.
Go ahead to your closing, and then Raymond will take us home. Guys, we are out of time.
Look, thank you very much, and to my Liberian people, and to the Spoon family, we say thank you for the opportunity to be here. Vasco, this guy should be more or less a comedian because he knows how to entertain people. For you to say the president has traveled more than 10
That's
times.
what I take it back. That's an insult to me.
So,
Don't do that.
please,
okay.
When you
please,
can't
please,
tell
okay,
your
I take it
phone,
back.
don't
I
let-
take it
don't
back.
let your friend say you.
Yeah,
Okay, I take
listen,
that back. I take that
yeah.
back.
You
All
want
right.
They
make it
when we go in the back room now, you can call me any kind of name. But
You just told me after I concluded
you know,
that
the
comprehension was a
party-
problem.
The message comprehension was the problem. He told us that some people get comprehension problem.
I didn't refer to nobody.
Hey, come on, man. I was the one talking. I did not make any issue out of it. Did I?
So-
No,
so-
I did not.
I said
No.
that we have
You
it
should have been. In fact, Nelson,
so
I
let's
did not
do
refer
this.
to him as a comedian. I said he should have been a comedian. I did not say you are a comedian.
Family,
All right.
you have 30 seconds to conclude your
All right,
closing.
quickly. So, Liberia is all we have, and we pray that everyone will be more patriotic, put the country first. Let us think that there is a lot more Liberia stand to gain if we all focus in the right direction. Let us stop seeing everything as being, in the opposite. President Bwakana is the president of the country. Let us support him. Let everybody put down whatsoever thing we have on our shoulder, on our heads, and let's just
Thank you.
about Liberia first.
Thank you.
so much.
Finally, Raymond, take us home. I heard you saying President Bwaka meeting with the IMF. Siri, has Siri given you what you wanted? Anyway, sorry.
No, I was trying to
sorry,
just tell Vasco
Uh,
that because he just made that statement. I didn't even know I was off. I was speaking to myself, telling myself that
Okay.
stuff, man. I didn't know I was on. So President Bwaka came to the US here and he met with the IMF boss. When he just got the presidency before even inauguration. Just this week, we realized that IMF gave us a loan to service our commercial banks in the tune of 200 plus million. Vasco, yet you say nothing has happened. So being a naysayer, you will find anything to say, whether they're factual or not. But my brother George today, for the fact that he wore an Arsenal t-shirt, at least he was half truthful and he was half into himself, because you can't take CDC out of anybody, irrespective of how much you try to put them into another environment. It will still pop up. But I think we had a good show, and Vasco couldn't help it to see his brother agree on something. His face went. If it could get any red, it could get red, but a black power for Echo, so it was just shiny black. But that's it, Vasco.
Thank you,
But
guys.
Vasco, that was
Well-
a compliment. Your president George Weah is an entertainer,
That's
and
it.
comedians are
You
entertainers.
said it right here.
Come on,
So
guys.
that was a compliment.
So folks, we have to go. I want to say thanks to everyone. It's been a great show. It's been a great show. Vasco, tomorrow you will make the clarity, but it's been a great show today. We have to go. They will come your way again. Thanks to all of you across Radio Land, across social media who have been following this edition of the program, the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics on Spoon. We've been here tonight. I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks to Toure, the Batala boy. Thanks to our brother Vasco Sumo. Thanks to Maximus Pamole for being here tonight. Thanks to our brother Raymond Zeze. Many thanks to Josh Widow as well. Josh came on. He was playing the role as moderator, but then he abandoned the show and he left. It's been a great show. Let's hope we can be here again tomorrow.
The man never committed to anything. The small role you gave him, couldn't even live up to it.